Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Shri Radha Kalachandji ki jai, Jai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Glory. Srila Gurudev Sannyasa Mahatsava ki. So basically what we decided was, well, when I said we, there's some disciples who got together and figured out what we'll do today. And that is that, generally we have some people speak, but then only some people speak and others are not able to speak. We want everybody to have a chance to speak. So what we decided today was that we have a recording that we're going to be playing of Gurudev speaking. So basically Srila Gurudev will be speaking today and we'll be hearing. And then after that we will do a Kur Puja and then have Prasadam. But there's about the speaking part, what we decided was, really we've been speaking so many times but you don't always record what is being said and it's lost. People say so many wonderful things and it's lost. And so many people have so much to say, and we don't actually catch everything. And really, a movement is only as strong as the experience the devotees have in that movement. And so, basically, we have two wonderful devotees, Mother Vijayeshwari and her sister Shavya, who actually created programs that we do on Zoom, where different devotees come on Zoom and speak about 3 different things. We speak about Srila Gurudev's Sannyasa, we speak about Srila Gurudev's appearance, and we speak about, and of course, disappearance, and we also speak about Shri Radha Kalachandji. Yeah, just to give you some idea how this thing started, created as a result. Now, there's talk even in Mayapur that Srila Prabhupada said that he brought Kalachandji to Dallas to protect the children of the world. And when Prabhupada was asked how old these children will be, Prabhupada's answer was, I'm also a child of Krishna. So really what he was saying was that Kalachandji was brought to Dallas to look after all of the devotees around the world. And so what we decided in Mayapur is that they're going to focus on Texas, through Radha Kalachandji, they're going to focus on Texas to build unity in ISKCON, because ISKCON has so many diverse devotees with diverse ideas, and sometimes it sounds like we're conflicting with one another, whereas actually it's simply diverse ideas. We shouldn't be conflicting, we should let all those diverse ideas develop. And they found that they scouted around the world and they decided that Dallas was the best amongst all the temples where devotees actually do work with one another. Now, that is from Srila Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada, really. That's their legacy. We may not feel the same inside the community. We feel like there's so many differences that we have, but our differences are minor compared to what differences happen in other places. And so, they feel like the Dallas is doing off. With the Gauja Maharaj and Giriraj Maharaj has really helped. They can see that here are wonderful devotees who spend time in Dallas and have Dallas develop very nicely. And so, this devotee Sarvajaya Madhava, he bought 7,500 acres of land in the south in the McAllen area. So McAllen is going to be the area where Kalchanji Dham is going to expand to, as a place where the whole world can come and do things in our place. Plus up here in the north also is bought land, and others have bought land. Between our devotees in Dallas alone, now we have 20,000 acres of land. I mean, that's a lot of land, if you think about it. That's a lot of land. And you can do a lot with that type of land, And so everything is going to be centered around Radha Kalachandji, because Radha Kalachandji are the oldest deities of ISKCON anywhere in the world. And so why I'm saying that is because these Zoom programs are very important. Because these Zoom programs have created this type of ether, something in the ether where people feel, wow, Dallas, they talk about Kalachandji, they talk about this person, that person, and they're so loving to one another. And so I wanted to say to you all that please speak up. We want you to give us your names and say to us, I can say something about Gurudev, I can say something about the Sannyasa program, I can say something about whatever you want to say anything about. Please tell us. We'll make a list and we'll make sure that everybody can come on Zoom at some point and record these for posterity, so that we have all this in our record. And sooner or later, a big book will be made about the Dallas temple, how it started, who were the devotees who served at this temple, those who might have done very little service. We want to recognize everybody. And that way we create a legacy into the future. The devotees 100 years from now, 500 years from now, 1,000 years from now, will look back and say, these were the beginnings of the Hare Krishna movement. And here's an example of the temple, and this is what happened in their community, So I want you to know that we want you to speak. It's just that if we have all of us speak now, it's going to be first not recorded properly, and second, we'll be sitting here for some time. And when we put this out on Zoom, the reason we put it on Zoom was I got a call this morning from our god sister, Prabhu. She said, please can you guys put something on Zoom so that we can see what Dallas is doing in terms of the program that Dallas was doing as headquarters. Can you also make sure the program is only so long so we can all, because they're staying up way at night to watch this program happening here. So we'll just have Gurudev speak, and then after that we'll do the arti, and then after that we'll all enjoy the wonderful prasad that everybody's making and smooth with one another. But please, at some point in time, please speak to Mother Jeshwari and or Dharma Prabhu, myself, somebody where you can just give us your names and say, we'd like to say something, or I can say something. If you do, it just shows us the variety of the different devotees who are speaking about Dallas, about Gurudev. And it'll please Gurudev no man, please Prabhupada no man. Prabhupada actually is a very humble person. He would not say that Krishna Maharaj is my, best disciple, but he did say that Krishna Maharaj was the favorite grand disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That was his way of saying he's also mine. Special disciple. And we all know how much Gurudev contributed to this movement, how many things he was first at, this, that, and the other. Those who served him, we know how much sincerity he had, this, that, and the other. It's important for us to carry that legacy forward, not because we are disciples, we want to carry it forward for ISKCON, for this world, so that the world will know that we are not a Ritvik culture. After Prabhupada came his disciples, and after them came the grand disciples, the great grand disciples, the whole train that's going to deliver the whole world. The world Prabhupada built the three worlds. Thank you very much. So you can put it here.
This is only like 10 or 11 minutes.
Okay.
It's the final portion of a class that Srila Gurudev gave at Bhaktivedanta Manor right before he went to Mayapur on his last visit. 2001. It's a superb, and it was on Prasad Panchami also. On that very same day. But he speaks about his taking sannyas.
Heritage that we have, and just as when you exercise, you don't start by doing a great deal at once. You start with a little bit, and you gradually increase. So this day is a day on which we should have decided how to take a little bit of the nectar of Krishna consciousness. Not so much that we get not so much sweetness that you get diabetes, but also you don't really love what you read, taste bitter. All things have to be good. So this is the meaning of sannyasa. Today, I chose this day to give you sannyasa. And I think it's significant that he picked this day because it's a day in which we see great renunciation on the part of someone like Maharaja Swami. And it's a special day also in which we see learning, Saraswati Puja, which is suitable for sannyasi. And especially in our tradition, it is a day in which we, Prabhupada says, a Vaishnava takes sannyas in order to increase service to Guru. So as we heard about his meditation, and in the translation which Krishna Chandra Prabhu so kindly did for us today, meditation of Guru. And of course, it's a day in which these personalities are received. They're all very, very, they're really relatives of Krishna Lila. So all of this was, I think, meant to be symbolized by the choice of this day of giving sannyasa. The sannyasa mantra is a mantra which the sannyasi prays for the mood of the devotees. That's actually sannyasa mantra, a very unusual mantra. But it's interesting, when Prabhupada gave sannyasa, he didn't give that mantra. He gave a mantra which was chanted by the 24 Brahmana, which is mentioned in the Maharaja. Now remember that day when Prabhupada gave the sannyasa. Of course, the sannyasa affair is described in the Maharaja. And on this day, I always talk to my respect to my former wife, because she took sannyasa without any choice on her part. Whereas I jumped into it. She didn't even have the choice, but I did a similar thing as we heard said about Raghunath, I believe it was said, where about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just repeat it. I had 3 books which were sung by Prabhupada and Bhagavats, which my wife was quoting. So I asked her for the books. She asked me, why do you want these books? Because I never, she was the keeper of the books. So I said, I just want to read them. She said, I'll give you one of them. I said, you don't want all 3 of them. And then she had some idea that I was going to take something else. So she got quite emotional, and she went into Prabhupada's room to, expose my plan, which Prabhupada wouldn't do because I already told him. And Prabhupada did not say yes or no. So every time she would go in, I would try to answer her to make sure that she didn't do anything. And then she would just walk down and cry and walk outside. So when we finally got to Jaipur, where we were going, I took the books, and my wife stayed behind in Bombay because she was a Pujari by Rashtrigar. And at Jaipur, then I really turned under pressure. The Prabhupada, I guess, I really want to take sannyasa. And finally, Prabhupada would not commit. Then I just decided I'm going in front of the deities of Prabhupada Govinda, who was on his deity. And I actually, being honest in my mind, because I was a GBC in India, so I knew I couldn't be in a GBC at that time to be a sannyasi. I gave that up to my mind, I gave up my wife, I gave up everything. I just said to the deity that I'm just going to live here without anything in the court, just in the gardens of Govinda's monastery. And I really surrendered to that. And then at the Darshan's day, because I was in GBC, I would sit right at the front, but then I just stopped sitting and I would sit outside the room at the door. And Prabhupada was the only one who observed this. And so I was sitting there, and he said, our Tamal Krsna Maharaja is very humble. That was the first time he said it. So that all the women became very alarmed, of course. Jonah and Malati, and they all became very disturbed because if I was going to do that, they were afraid that their husbands went to Taliban on behalf of my wife, Monica, and they said, this is, it's very bad, she's very young, they've only been married less than 2 years, how would she tolerate it? And that evening was a program in the temple from Govinda. And during this live show, Dr. called me over and he said, your wife is very young, she's my daughter, I don't want to hurt her, and you should reconsider. And I said that, I know, he said this will hurt you. I said, you won't have a minute to it will hurt you. He said, why don't you do it later? And I said, I think I should do it now because it's better she gets, Anyway, it was some callous statement on it, but I can't say anything good about it in the sense that I heard her and I didn't want to do that. But at the time, I was not very considerate. So finally, that evening, he called his other devotees and he asked them whether they thought it was a good idea or not. And it was some men, of course, who were no good at it at the time. They all said it's a very good idea. And Prabhupada said, you have to get a danda cloth ready. I said, it's all ready. I already have the danda and I got the cloth dyed. So then he fixed the date for the sun punching. And I remember he had his sannyasa there was just a ceremony in front of these. And there was Prabhupada on one side and he had the other side of the fire. He gave me the danda. And then he taught me this mantra, which says that even though I'm alone, I will always sit with the Lord Mukunda to give her liberation. That day we went into Ritual, Prabhupada and I. We were going into Ritual to some program. And a marriage party passed, coming at us. And Prabhupada said, don't look. He said, now you can never see that again. And he just started chanting 8 times on the side. That chant is not again until I learned it by heart. He said, you just chant this mantra. So after that, the Prabhupada went to Africa, and he sent him as behalf to Ahmedabad, where he had invited simultaneously the 2 programs that he sent me to. So I went to do the program, and it was quite successful. And then Prabhupada came back to Bombay, and he was going to Madras. And I wouldn't come to the temple because my wife was there, and I was a sannyasi. So I stayed, I sent the 3 brahmacharis who were my assistants. Actually, right at the time, after getting sannyas, Prabhupada asked me what I intended to do, and I said that I would walk barefoot and walk to be preach alone. But I don't want to take anything. Prabhupada said, very good quality. So I was quite, in my danda and I went out, and then about an hour later, Prabhupada basically called back and said, that is not a very practical suggestion. You need some assistance. And I said that they will talk so many nonsense things that it will distract me from remembering Krishna. Prabhupada said, but you'll need them, they'll help you with something like that. So anyway, I had a party, so I sent them to the temple. But I said at the train station, and Prabhupada, seeing that I had not come, sent the other car to the train station to call them back. When I came here, he said, the temple is a neutral ground, doesn't matter what is here, it's a neutral territory. You can come to me if she's here. So I came in, and it was a very nice, proper theater room, sent everybody out. Then he asked me how preaching was, and I told him how it was in Ahmedabad. Then he did a very touching thing at the end. He got up from behind his little desk he was sitting in, and he came up and took me in his arms. He pressed me very tightly. He put his head on one side of my head and on the other side. He said, now take this sannyasa mantra from your heart, keep it always in your heart, and go and preach everywhere. It's a real, very when I went out of this room, I realized that it was the first time I think that I understood understood how the spiritual master teaches with his words, but he did something in his body, that was very, very powerful. He used his body in ways to affect my life and my heart by holding me like that, by touching me. Because I had touched him so many occasions, but here he reached out to me. So it was a very powerful experience. And so these are the thoughts that have come to me, as I said, and used up all the time. I can only say that I wish I could have been all these years a much better example than I have been. I don't feel that I lived up to the title of Goswami. Srila Prabhupada gave that title to many of our sannyasis, and I have fallen very far short of that mark. But I pray that the Vaishnavas will help me so that somehow before I leave this body, I can somehow be a little worthy of that title that Prabhupada gave us today. Anyway, I hope that all of us here will take part and embrace the great heritage that we have by becoming part of Srila Prabhupada's family. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur ki jai, Raghunath Goswami Prabhu ki jai, Srila Vishnu Priyadevi ki jai, and Srila Punjarik Vinayani Prabhu ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Premanandi.
Thank you.
Some of the singing, but I think very beautiful thing. I think everyone will have to hear. Something about children that you would like to share?
How loving and caring he was when I didn't think that he would go to this. But one of the he was I went out and started my car, and it was snow on the ground and everything. So, and I came back in because you can't sit in the car because I'm cold. And so he called me and he said, "Time to ride. Cars running." Yes, but somebody will steal it. And I said, "But here, Dave, I have 2 keys, so I locked the doors." He said, "Oh, okay." Yeah, he was so concerned that somebody might steal my car because it was running and all. He had watched me get in and get out and go back in the house. So I thought, wow, this is very, very caring. I was always scared about that. About a car.
Called me once like that. I said, "Left your door. You left your garage door open."
In all directions. We were all in from the view of his bedroom. You could see from his bedroom.
So, this week,
walking around the block once. I had one of my grandkids stuffed a rabbit. And she left it there in the sitting room with the ladder on my porch. He called me and says, "Srila, why is there a rabbit on the porch?" He said, "Well, it's my granddaughter's sugar, and she left it behind." Oh, okay. Rabbit on my porch.
He called me from England, started on a call, and he had a question about Tulsi Devi, and I could hear him in the background. And so, "No, sir, this is what I want you to say to her." But he didn't want to talk. He was chanting his rounds, and then he was listening to part of what he was saying. So he was asking about a procedure for Tulsi Devi. And I wrote it in my diary exactly, but I don't have my diary with me. I'm sorry, it's at home, but it was just something that he needed to know about her care. And I felt very blessed. They called all the way from England. Yeah, he sent Parvati, actually, Mother Parvati, your god sister. And I think their daughter run was only 3 months old, 2 months old now. And Parvati came in, she said, "Okay, Quinty, I'm here on behalf of your group, Maharaja. You've had your baby. You've been nursing your baby. You're at home. Now it's time to do some service." I said, "Well, I have service." Anyway, so I was talking about I have service. And she said, "No, you can bring your baby." And so I did. And so Ben stayed in the Tulsi house while I took care of Tulsi. Oh.
What do you hear about her? That's amazing.
But I was getting to our home to do a program. And we in that week, before you, alone. Probably or not. I said, "Well, you know, it's just, a lot of it because
Mother Jack, is there something?
I'm not thinking of anything. No, share with
What
us.
you share with us about the letter that got very
We we're gonna decided to leave the community because of some difficulties we were having. Plus, we had a baby who was very ill, and it had been very difficult for us with Bart being so sick and expecting him not to live. And so we left and went back to our hometown. And we were planning to stay there for a while, and then possibly, if we could get a job in New Orleans, we were going to go down to Utah and live there. And I would stay at the farm with the children during the day, and he would go to New Orleans and work and then drive back, which is about an hour trip both ways. Hour down and hour back. And during that time, he got a job. He was offered a job, and he had not decided yet to take that job. We were waiting on some other offers to come in, if possible. And we had gone down and found that there was a house there. Move in. We were told we could move into that house. And so, yeah. And it was a beautiful little tiny, you know what a Jim Walter home is? That's what it was. A little prefab home that was there, very small, but it was on a lakeside with big, huge azaleas around it, and big, tall pine trees, beautiful spot, really beautiful spot, you know. Maya was pulling us that direction, not Maya, but I guess Krsna was allowing us to make a choice at that point, because he gave us this beautiful setting, but without Gurudev and the devotees here in Radhakalachandji, or, you know, come back here. And we, at the time, just didn't feel like we could come back. And so, I think it was around Christmas time, or somewhere around that time, that Mother Bhakti Lada and Yogananda came through. Gurudev had asked them to come the long way through Mississippi to go back up to Tennessee, rather than to travel across and make it a much faster journey. So they came by and stayed with us at, I believe they stayed at our house, didn't they, Ruth and Nick? At your mother's and father's house? Yeah. And they told us that Srila Gurudev had asked them to ask us to write a letter to him. And so we did. Each of us wrote individually a letter back and sent it on to him. And he wrote a letter back to us then. And I think Rupanuga Prabhu has this letter. I don't know where mine is right now, but the letter pretty much stated that, you know, I would really like for you to come back to Dallas. And, you know, we've made these arrangements now where householders are going out and maintaining their families and helping to maintain the temple. And the brahmacharis are living in the temple, but householders are being asked to get their own homes. So it was very interesting. You know, we both thought about it for a little bit, and then we decided to write back and tell him that we would come back. And when we did, we found out that he was leaving for China right away. And so we rushed and packed very quickly and came back to Dallas about a year after we had left. It was in November when we left, and I think it was in April when we came back. And just in time for summer.
What year did you all come?
We came in 79, and then we left at the end of 79 in November. We came back in April of 80. No. We came back in May of 80. And I was, Garogalila was to be born in June. The last part of June, but she didn't come until, no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Johnny. It was July that she was supposed to be born. And so it was in June when we came back. It was 6 weeks before she was to be born. So we moved back here at the time. And Gurudev told us, he said, you can get a house so you don't have to live right on the street where the temple is. Your husband can get a job. He can maintain the family. And you can come to the temple. So, here you are.
I don't often take issue with my spiritual master, but when I heard him say on here that I haven't lived up to the title of Goswami, my realization was that was never so. From the very first time he walked in the door of Jivananda Prabhu's house in Knoxville, Tennessee, sometime in 1978, until the time he departed, to me he was always the kind of person that I would have wanted to have as my spiritual master. And even though he might not have slept under a tree and ate one pat of butter every 2 or 3 days, like the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, still he performed great austerities, took sannyas so he wouldn't be burdened with a family, and then he came to Dallas. And he had all of these householders coming from all over the world, practically, certainly all over the United States. People. Isn't that right, Arjun Krishna?
From all over the world.
Yeah. And everybody was, most of the householders were very unhappy with the condition of the community here. It was, we could not imagine. Giant, I told you about the place that we were going to rent down at New Talawan. And it was like the heavenly planets compared to East Dallas. I mean, I don't think we could have done any better going to Hawaii. But anyhow, he very gently convinced us to come back just by saying he wanted us back. I was having a little trouble with the temple administration at that time, and I started to say something about the temple president. And when I came back and told Gurudev, I didn't think the temple president was very happy that we came back. And he wouldn't let me get more than about 3 words out of my mouth. And then he said, well, he's just a little bit attached, or something like it. Would not let me criticize the temple president. And so, in every aspect that I can remember, even when he chastised me heavily, and that was only once or twice, because he knew my ego. And so, but in every instance, to us, he was a Goswami.
There was something that I wanted to mention. We had a program in the temple right after Gurudev left, as quick as we could get it like this. And when everyone was coming from all over the world to come, and I remember before that, I remember thinking, and I'm sure you all did, that Gurudev made me feel special. He made me feel special. So when these people came and they started speaking, all these people feel special. He was involved in all their lives, instructions. It made him so much bigger in my eyes, just hearing that and realizing it, I was listening to a lecture the other day. And he was saying that sannyasi, isn't really supposed to, I'll say it with to practice it. But I have so many female disciples, and I'm affectionate to them because I give them love just like Prabhupada did with all his beliefs. And that personal love flourishes the spiritual life. It's such a beautiful, intimate, and very personal.
And it's also very careful. So there's many times that we all know that he would never be alone with me. I've never seen him alone. Unless it was in the hallway or something.
I only remember one time that he asked me to come in to here. I was helping to serve and he asked me to come in. He said, sit right there. And he was sitting at the end of the table and he was talking to me about the Gurukul. And the door, he said, leave the door open just a little bit. There was no one eating with him. He was just sitting there, but he had me leave the door open just a little bit. And people were coming in and out all the time serving. But that was the only time that I ever remember being alone in the room with Srila Gurudev. And that was with the door partially open.
One time we were in Los Angeles, and he went to one visit and his wife, who had a great relationship with them. And I'm not going to be almost in something like that. So I believe some meeting was going to be 20 minutes later, somehow other thing up here. And he asked me to come with him to why, because I wasn't there. So we went, and it's for me because what I used to about Krishna, no different also Krishna. I know that Guru was like 5 times in all those paintings and stuff like that, but I was there for me, but also for a variety of those things.
I was just thinking how his incredible capacity for loving everyone was unbelievable. As soon as you met him, he personally was interested in you and cared about you. It was genuine. It wasn't like just somebody putting on a show or doing it for some, external reason. It was unbelievable how much he had this capacity to love to everyone. And I was just thinking about 3 people that weren't even devotees that he gave so much love to. Actually, 4 people. One was this professor from Professor North. Y'all might remember him. He was here a lot. Yeah. He was super close with him on a professional level. Then there was Elizabeth Esperson from downtown Dallas, the Thanksgiving Square Foundation. I stayed with him in Cambridge when I was there. And amazing lady, encouraged to connect with everyone. And if you're his disciple or someone, a child of his children, he loved you unconditionally, like a great father. And as a father, he was just so amazing. What he could do, he could give so much love to you and so much attention, but at the same time, he was doing it with 20, 30 other people every day. He was just beaming out so much love and affection. There was this older couple, they were English. They would come and have dinner with Gurudev at Willow House in Cambridge. And Gurudev, they weren't especially important people. Something like some big priest they had to preach to. They weren't scholars or religious people. They were just somebody he met, and they liked Gurudev, and Gurudev gave them this love. And Gurudev said, it was kind of funny, he said, they were driving sometimes places. They would never go over about 10 or 15, 20 kilometers an hour. They drove very, very slow. And as we all know, Gurudev didn't like that. But he would tolerate it because he loved these people. And they loved him. And Gurudev said, it's really quite an experience. It's really an interesting way to experience the world when you go that slowly. It's just an unbelievable love. You can't even describe it. Like, if you've never experienced it, then I'm sure everyone has here, though, it's an extension of Krishna's love. How much, and that's just must be like a tiny taste of how incredible Krishna's all-empowering love, overwhelming love.
It wasn't nervous here. It was just the love that it all felt for him. Everyone
Talking of small incidents, another example of how, my loved some, I didn't go preaching on with God or anything like that. I was living in the little white house, which was the Joy Room door on the temple project at that time. Sometimes rather than used to the afternoon, there would be nobody else there. So I was meeting. One time I was done, walked out from the car toward the temple, and I stopped, and they preached And then another time, walking up, and that time there was one time I was playing. And my voice came up. It was like stunning to me.
When was this? How many years back?
I was in probably really and he has sat in the couch and here. And he was wow. What you know to do? Such it. So happy to be disciple.
Wonderful was talking about not all of the disciples so much. You have so much love for my people. What about the other disciples? All that love from other people that show you how much I love all of you. I mean, it's such an endearing statement. I saw that first time at Dharma, and so in doing that in Dharma in Denver. So, I knew that and the top leaders of all the religious institutions at that place. All the thinkers, the real leaders, I knew there was a bad. Had a meeting, the question was, why do you feel that your religion is the best? And they all said so many things about this, and our religion is like that, and our God is like that. And they were all saying it was catchy, and we could appreciate it. One of the songs about the God. But when you came to Buddha's turn to speak, Buddha got thinking. He says, yes, I can appreciate how much you love God, how much you're God. But how you and your religion is actually Buddha. Why? I thought to myself, how many times he reminded us what happens on this Prabhupada and the world wants to that's so exciting. It doesn't always come right here. And the best solution I would be truly and this love that he was Prabhupada is I think what we're experiencing. At the same like why did you come to this planet? I got so much love from Radharani. I want to give you all experience Radharani's love. Also the beauty. Radharani feels so happy loving me. I want to give you the very same experience. I felt that really was like that's the love of Srila Prabhupada. First hand. And every devotee, everyone wants to be talking. That's a disagreement. He asked Dharma what do you think? Now he gave some answer, and he said, that's why he's my smartest devotee. Dharma can't remember that. I remember that. Because when you hear somebody about somebody else, it affects you. Especially if you don't think that's the answer. I would say, the Dharma is my smartest disciple. There are so many other disciples very senior, right? We in touch before Dharma from the end. So there's this appreciation of this. I feel like you're of the world. How many times have I heard you say, the best disciple, is the best thing
about Mother Shekhinah. It says that she was his most intelligent woman to son.
Yes. And I remember there was a devotee in Mayapur, I think in she actually voted one time that the Buddha said, I am his most
He told me the same thing about Eunice. Because something was really going right and it finally clicked, because usually Eunice was doing so many things at one time. And something clicked that day. And I came in, heard they called me in for something, I get them water or something. He says, that's my hardest to say.
Renee said that in Cambridge about him too.
Yeah.
He said, there's not enough, why do I have to have 3 servants here? And you guys still can't get anything done. And I can't stand it that I have to have 3 servants here and it's still not enough. And if I just need one, and if I could just have one person here, it would be perfect. And that would be Eunice here.
I went to visit him in Beverly Hills, and he was staying with his Maharaja. Wonderful, lovely Krsna, who spent several years he was trying to books and drink. He keeps going to the warrior to whatever. He was having scientific. He was arriving there. They said, oh, finance, and money was having I couldn't touch testing that is I was afraid that he figured out the whole thing.
I don't know if you all know, but Radha Krishna Prabhu is now an initiating spiritual.
We cannot have anything because it's on conversation, the food is very polite.
Okay.
Either we can have a dedicated, I think we will have to do
You know, they'll be able to see it later on Zoom. You can actually turn that down. We told them they wanted to have it till 8 o'clock, and it's already 8 o'clock. So we told them 1 hour.
Okay, you don't want to do the RP?
Yeah, RP did not see it.
Can I say one thing real quickly that, Gurudev brought us all here and he helped us to